First of all, I would like to wish everyone good afternoon. This afternoon, we were supposed to have the empowerment of Noble Avalokiteshvara, but in this situation, it is not so practical to do the empowerment. And so we will have to have the meditation transmission. So meditation transmission is when the master explains the meditation to the students. And the way to do the meditation. And then they go through the text, repeating the text after the master. So first the master explains the meditation, and then there's the call and repeat of the sadhana to practice it. And so that's how we do it. So yesterday I've already described the meditation. So I don't particularly have much of new to say. However, first, since we need to do the meditation and transmission, first the students need to make a mandala offering. So I'd like to ask the students to please make the mandala offering in order to receive the meditation transmission of the sadhana, all-pervading benefit of beings. This earth perfumed with scented water, strewn with flowers, graced with Mount Meru, the four lands, the sun and moon. I visualize to be a Buddha realm and offer so that all beings enjoy a perfectly pure realm. And then following this, so even if we can't do the whole sadhana by repeating it, we absolutely must do repeat the verse on going for refuge and rousing bodhicitta. So please repeat the verse on refuge and bodhicitta after me. In the Supreme Buddha, Dharma, and Assembly, I go for refuge until attaining enlightenment. Through the merit of this meditation, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit beings. In the Supreme Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly, I go for refuge until enlightenment. Through the merit of my practicing this meditation, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until attaining enlightenment. Through the merit of my practicing this meditation, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit beings. So now we have repeated the refuge and bodhicitta prayer 3 times. Now we will slowly recite the text of the sadhana. While we recite it, please do the visualization of the deity and the mantra recitation as I described them yesterday. In particular, today, think that there is an Avalokiteshvara above everyone's crown. Pray to him, and because of praying to him, you receive the blessings. At the end, the body of noble Avalokiteshvara dissolves into your body. So you visualize that it dissolves into you, but otherwise the visualizations are all the same. And at the end, we will do the 6-syllable mantra as a call-on repeat. So please focus on the visualizations as I described them. And as you focus them like I described yesterday, please, while I recite the text, please focus on the visualization. On the crown of the head of myself and others, beings pervading space. On a white lotus and moon is Sri. From it arises noble, supreme Avalokita. He is brilliant white and radiates the 5 lights. Handsome and smiling, he looks on with compassion. He has 4 arms. The first 2 are joined in prayer. The lower 2 hold a crystal mala and white lotus, adorned with ornaments of silks and jewels. He wears an upper robe of an antelope skin. Amitabha crowns his head. He sits with his 2 legs in the Vajra posture. His back rests against a stainless moon. He is the embodiment of all the sources of refuge. Perfect Buddha adorning your head, your body is unstained by faults, your body is white. A perfect Buddha adorns your head. You look upon beings with eyes of compassion. Avalokita, we prostrate to you. Lord, unstained by faults, your body is white. A perfect Buddha crowns your head. You look upon beings with eyes of compassion. Avalokita, we prostrate to you. Lord, unstained by faults, your body is white. A perfect Buddha adorns your head. You look upon beings with compassionate eyes. We prostrate to you, Chandrasik. Due to supplicating one pointedly in that way, light rays stream forth from the body of the Noble One and purify impure karmic appearances and mistake in our consciousness. The outer world becomes the pure land of Sukhavati. The body, speech, and mind of the inhabitants within become the body, speech, and mind of Avalokita. Appearances, sounds, and awareness are inseparable from emptiness. Now following that, please repeat these words of the 6-syllable mantra of Noble Avalokiteshvara. Mani, Peme, Om, Om, Peme, Om, Om, Mani, Padme, Om. Please grant these students the study of the mantra. Please grant them all the austerities. May these Vidyaras receive the blessings of Avalokiteshvara in their beings. The physical appearance of myself and others is the body of the Noble One. Sounds are the melody of the 6 syllables. Thoughts are the expanse of great wisdom. By this merit may we swiftly accomplish Avalokiteshvara and establish every being without any exception in that state. So this completes bestowing the meditation transmission of Noble Avalokiteshvara. So basically, at this point I thought I should say a few things. So generally it's said that All the incarnations of the Karmapa are emanations of noble Avalokiteshvara. This is not just the Karmapa in Tibet. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, and many other great lamas are emanations of noble Avalokiteshvara. The reason is because Tibetans are disciples of Avalokiteshvara. So it's predicted that Avalokiteshvara would appear in the form of monastics or in the form of kings of Tibet. And so these are some of the inconceivable deeds and activity he has shown for damning his Tibetan disciples. In particular, with the incarnations of the Karmapa, there's a great connection between them and the Avalokiteshvara's activity on his behalf, on behalf of sentient beings. For example, we have the mani prayer wheels we carry in our hands, right? So these small prayer wheels spread from the time of the second Karmapa, Karmapakshi, as it is said in the historical documents. So not only that, the singing the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra with the melody also started at the time of the second Karmapa. Karmapakshi himself had a pure vision of Dakinis of the 5 classes singing the Mani mantra to a melody, and they took it as an example and used it to spread he used it as to spread the recitation of the mantra with a melody. So there are traditions of singing the mantra with the melody all over Tibet. There are different melodies, but the tradition of singing is all over Tibet. Not only that, in the olden days, when the Karmapas would give the black crown ceremony and put the crown on their heads, the custom was to recite the Mani mantra with a melody. So there's a strong connection between the activity of Avalokiteshvara and the histories of the Karmapas. So now we've gained this good opportunity, and I've been able to have this, been able to give this meditation transmission to the 6-syllable mantra of Avalokiteshvara. I think this is a good fortune for me and myself, and my hope is that through this strong Dharma connection between us, we and all others may grow the seed of liberation and omniscience in our own beings. Likewise, in order to bring all sentient beings who are stricken by suffering swiftly to the unexcelled state of Buddhahood, may we all become diligent about the meditation practice of noble Avalokiteshvara. My prayer is that we ourselves become great beings who are able to accomplish benefit for both ourselves and others. So now this is our teaching this year, and it seems like we have completed both our teaching and our empowerment for this year. And so, for the end, I should give some sort of a summary of this. And along with that, many people have heard or seen about many different things connected with my situation, whether through the news or through their community and word of mouth. So I thought it would be best if I gave a short explanation of them. The reason is because it's my responsibility, and so I'll try to give a short explanation. So now, this year, it's been 18 years that I've lived in India. And during these 18 years, I have never spent this long a period outside of India. It has been almost 2 years, or a year and a half. And the longest portion of this time I spent in the United States. And while I was staying in the United States, many people probably thought that I was probably enjoying myself and that I had some sort of a freedom. I think many people probably believe that. So when people look at it from the outside, it might seem like that, but for me personally, the time that I stayed in the United States was probably the most difficult period of my life. On the one hand, my physical condition was not very good. It really wasn't anything all that serious, but my body was easily fatigued and I had no strength. I was very weak. In addition to that, I also had a lot of difficulties that were mentally stressful. These difficult situations, there were many situations I had to deal with. Many situations I had to deal with that I had never experienced before in this life. Similarly, there were external and internal pressures. From the external and internal situations that I had to deal with. So I feel like that I've never experienced such difficulties in my life before. And I think it would be difficult for there ever to be such difficulties again. So I think that this time that I spent in the United States was probably the most difficult period of my life. But this happened primarily because of my past karma and temporary circumstances. So mainly I've pointed the finger at myself to see what has been inappropriate in the way I've done things, what mistakes I've made, or how I've not used my intelligence or have lacked skills. This is something I have to tally up within myself. It's not about someone else saying they didn't do that right. My problems happened because of them. I see no basis for making any problems or for harboring any resentments against anyone else. The main thing is this happened because of my past karma and because of temporary circumstances. But regardless of my difficulties, there are a few things I have done. One of these is that, as reported in news, I have received citizenship in another country, a passport from Dominica. The news says that it is the Republic of Dominica, but that is a mistake. It is the Commonwealth of Dominica, not the Republic. So I did make some effort into doing this. Now, it wasn't only me working at it. It wasn't just me. Because of the situation I was in, there were many people who helped me on it. Now, the reason for doing this is that the Indian government is very kind in giving Tibetans who arrive in India a travel document so they can travel whether within India and also to other countries. This is a great kindness. Over the past 60 years, this has been extremely helpful. But in terms of how it works out in fact, when we use this travel document we Tibetans have, it is very difficult. Even within India, when we go through a customs, they ask us, "What is this? What country's passport is this?" It's not a passport. And they ask what country it's from. And even the customs officials don't know about it, so that's one problem. And likewise, when we go outside to other countries, there are nations where they won't accept it, and we cannot use it at all. Even when we can use it, there are various difficulties. Since that is how it is, many High Lamas of different Tibetan traditions get citizenship in various countries, or they get citizenship in a passport in India. They get the passport and use it because these High Lamas need to go to various foreign countries to conduct their activity. So when they have difficulties with their travel documents, it's not so comfortable for them. And I'm in the same situation. In the future, I will have to travel all over the world. So my advisors counseled me that it would be good to get a passport. And I also thought it would be good. And so I got the passport. Now, after I had got the passport, initially I had plans to return to India in the month of June. I'd had these plans already from last year. But during that time, in March, I got the new passport. So before I could return to India, I had to inform the Indian government that I had received a passport. From one angle, it would have been disrespectful to the Indian government to do otherwise. And so at the end of May, or in early June, I made some attempts to inform the Indian government that I had got a new passport. So I eventually was able to inform them of this. Similarly, I informed the Tibetan government and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Since I have already made the new passport of another country under Indian law, it's basically no way to hold the passports of two different countries. So for that reason, I had already made the new passport, though I hadn't used it. So in order to use it, I asked him to please use this. Please give me a visa and allow me to return to India. And so I made that request. And I've been waiting for the Indian government to give me a visa. In any case, many people probably think that me spending so long abroad means that I don't want to return to India. Or when they hear about the situation with a passport, it is possible that people might have all sorts of suspicions and doubts. But as a matter of fact, the reason to make the passport was because I am in the same position as all the other lamas. In the future, I will also have to travel all over the world to spread Dharma activity. This is the situation, and because of it, I am in the process of requesting a visa so that I can be able to return to India soon. So I'm in the process of asking for a visa, and I thought I had explained this to everyone. Another thing to say is that I've spent a long time abroad this year, and I spent a lot of that time, as I look at it, has been wasted. This is because I can't. So I can't really see any specific thing that I've done. But the most important thing is that while staying abroad this year, I did recently have the opportunity to meet His Holiness Taya Dorje. Now, I feel like doing this, I felt was something that really accomplished something. I think this could only happen abroad. There was no way it could have happened in India at all. So this year I was abroad, and he was also abroad, and so it happened kind of spontaneously. We were able to meet and have the accomplishment. So this is our initial meeting. And so as it said in the joint statement, the place we met was in the French countryside. So that is where we met. He invited me there in October 10th and 11th. Over 2 days, we had the opportunity to meet twice. So the main aim of the meeting was to get to know each other personally, to meet personally, and to come to a personal understanding, to get to know each other well. This is because with me, for example, I have heard a lot about Shama Rinpoche from the time I was little, because there are many people around me who had grown up with Shama Rinpoche. So I'd heard a lot about Shama Rinpoche from them. But I'd never heard much about His Holiness Taya Dorje. This is because there was no one around me who knew him well. So I've often wondered what his personality and character was like, what kind of a person he is. So through this opportunity, we had the chance to meet face to face, to be rather impolitic about it. For me, he is someone with good intentions. Someone who thinks about the overall needs of the teachings. So he and I are both Kampas. And so the character of Kampas is that we're very direct. And I really saw that and felt that very strongly in him. So I was really happy. I found him easy to get to know, easy to talk to, and have conversations with. So when they heard about this meeting happened, many people, for one part, they were like amazed, or they didn't believe it. Another reaction was that many people thought that this was like the conclusion or the end of everything, like everything was decided. But this meeting is just beginning. It's not an ending or a conclusion at all. It's mainly for us to get to know each other and to share our thoughts and opinions. There's nothing at all that was immediately decided or brought to a conclusion. This is just a beginning, and there's still a long way to go. So in the future, whether there will be some good result that comes from this meeting, it does not depend only on the two of us. Namely, I think that it depends upon our entire Karma Kagyu community and upon all of our followers. For this reason, it is as our joint statement said, and I'd like to reiterate. So please everyone, take a long view. Don't think about it in terms of a few months or a few years. Please think about how it'll be in a few decades or a few generations. Please think about it in that way. The reason is because this Karma Kagyu lineage has split into two. And that split should not continue from generation to generation. This is really something we have to keep in mind. Likewise, when we think about the Karmapa and his heart sons, we shouldn't have any conflicts over who's the real one and who the fake. I've also been thinking about this, and so then I arranged this meeting. If I had been thinking about my own personal profit, or the profit for one faction, it would have been better not to meet. There would have been fewer problems. But if we think about the general situation of the Karma Kamsen teachings, there was no way not to have this meeting. It was something we had to do. So for these reasons, I made the decision to do it on my own, and I requested the meeting. So a few years ago, His Holiness the Dalai Lama did give me some advice on a couple of occasions. He said it would be good for the two of us to meet. But at that time, my own way of thinking was a bit limited. And in addition, Kyabje Shama Rinpoche was also still alive. So I thought I would meet him first, and then eventually meet His Holiness Taya Dorje. So basically, this year I was abroad. So if I did not ask for a meeting and return to India, it would have been difficult to ever arrange a meeting again. So I took the opportunity and arranged the meeting. So I often think that the Karma Kamsang from glorious Dusum Khenpa up through the Gyalwang Rangdrupa Dorje, that is primarily the Karmapa and his heart sons and disciples, have maintained and propagated the teachings through study, teaching, and practice. Likewise, with their wisdom, love, and power, they've ripened disciples. I think that this activity of ripening disciples is the essential heart of the Kagyu history, the majesty and the true weight of the Kagyu teachings. So it is important that we need to continue to preserve these fine deeds and activity, this fine example, and we need to uphold the lineage. If we do not preserve them and uphold the lineage, and instead spend most of our time being biased, factional, and partisan, than to continue to think that we are right and that what we're doing is good, is in itself no good. The reason for this is that factionalism and partisanship are extremely dangerous. If we are partisan and factional, we won't see the faults on our own side or the qualities on the other. We will misunderstand all the qualities and faults and become unable to distinguish the good from the bad. We won't be able to recognize what is good and what is bad. For that reason, this is a situation where we absolutely must be careful. So this is why I asked His Holiness Dalai Dorje for a meeting this year. But as I said before, this meeting is just a beginning. For this to be something that will go well in the future, in a positive direction, we are only now taking the first steps. Whether this goes well or not does not depend upon only the two of us. It depends on all the followers and the whole community of the Karma Kamsang. So please, everyone, you absolutely must take as expansive a view of this as you can. Please consider the long term. If you think only about the very short term, so many people might think that there was no point for me to have this meeting this year. Likewise, some people might think that Orgyön Trinley Dorje had this meeting and ended up losing. He was defeated. But victory and defeat is a short-term worldly way of speaking. In the long-term future, there's the Deching that the lineage of the Karma Kaja will be left, so there's nothing that you can find. I don't think that losing some face now or victory or defeat are all that important. So this is my reason for giving this explanation now. So that completes the explanation, so please keep it all in your mind. So now finally, this year, I was not actually able to come, and so I'd like to apologize for that again. But I think that at some point in the future, I definitely will be able to come to the city of Toronto. So I pray that we will meet each other again in the future, and that until we do, you all may be healthy, that all you do may go well, that everything will be auspicious in all directions, and that you all may be happy. Thank you very much.